All right, I guess we can start. So hi everyone, welcome to the last panel of our panel series. My name is Tantan. I will be the host of today's panel. And today we got 6 wonderful panelists who have been to several World Sudoku and Puzzle Championships before, and they will be sharing their experiences and memories of WSPCs. So I personally have been participating in WSPC since 2013, and I have been to like 7 WSCs and 6 WPCs, but I'm still, I think, the least experienced one here. So without further ado, I would first have everyone introduce themselves. So Aga, why don't you start first to tell us something about yourself, such as your age, your occupation, where you're from, etc.
Hi everyone, I'm Agnieszka, but to easy things, you can call me Aga. I'm from Poland. I live in Poznań. It's a mid-sized city in the center of Poland, really between Warsaw and Berlin. I'm 33 years old. I'm a finance manager, and I've started competing in year 2018 and WPC in Belarus.
Thank you. Next up, Byron.
Oh yes, I'm Byron Calver. I'm from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, originally Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. I am 36 years old, just turned last month. I'm a public servant. I've been to a lot. I didn't actually count them at the time. I've been to a lot of puzzle championships, the World Puzzle Championships in 2000, in Stamford, Connecticut, 2003, Arnhem Papendal, the Netherlands, 2004, Opatia, Croatia, 2005, Eger, Hungary, 2006, Borovets, Bulgaria, 2007, Rio de Janeiro, 2009, Antalya, Turkey, 2011, which was also Eger, Hungary, 2013, which was Beijing, and 2014, which was London. I was also at the World Sudoku Championships of 2013 and 14, which were held concurrently, and the World Sudoku Championship that was held in Philadelphia, and I don't remember precisely the year that one. And also,
was Philadelphia.
Also Kirkheim. I forgot about Kirkheim, 2019 too.
Wow.
Did you say everything by heart, or did you read this?
I didn't write anything down. This is, I mean, I could have glanced over at the clipboard I still have from the Gare that
I have my notes.
I didn't take notes. I'm not professional.
It's very impressive. Dave.
Hi, I'm David from Canada. I work in a library. I've started participating in 2010 in Philadelphia, and I've been to each WSPC since 2013 until they canceled the last 2. Yeah, there's not much else to say. I don't know how to follow up Byron's lengthy list there.
Great. Tom.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Tom Collyer. I'm from London, and I live so close to Tower Bridge. I almost live inside the bridge. I'm 35 years old. I have a PhD in maths, but these days I do modelling for a living. Not that kind of modelling, credit risk modelling. And yeah, I've been doing all sorts of puzzling stuff for a very long time, since almost I can remember. Like, I think I first started getting into this kind of stuff in 2005, and I've participated in competitions, run competitions, had an early puzzle blog. What else do I do? Grandmaster puzzles, I do. Organised the World Championship, and designed a flag as well.
Very nice, very nice. So Ulla.
Hello, my name is Ulla. I'm from Finland. Just turned 50 years old, and I was so hoping to get to the age group before some of the really good competitors, but now since we have these two competitions postponed, there's gonna be certain German person there in the same age category. Yeah, they weren't my only chance to have a really good position there. But yeah, I started competing on 2010 in Philadelphia, same as David. And same year took part puzzle competition in Poland. Was first for that, and after that I have competed in every competition. So 10 total in Sudokus and 10 total in puzzles. I have a PhD in technical, or it's not PhD, but the technical doctorate degree from Embedded Systems, working in information technology as a senior what is it, expert. Yeah, and that's basically it.
Lovely. And last but not least, Vasso.
Oh, hi. Hi, everyone. I'm Vasso Kalaitzidou. I'm from Greece. I'm 33 years old. I work in a very large e-commerce platform here in Greece, the Greek Amazon, you could say. I'm here right now. And the first championship I ever participated at was in Paprotnia, Poland, 2010. And I've competed in almost every competition ever since. I think I didn't go to India, and I was trying to remember if I went to Czech Republic. I'm still not sure. My best ever. Oh no, I'm not gonna say that then. Okay, yeah, my best performance ever was like nearly the top 50. So Ulla, you have much better chances than us, with all the new people competing that are so good at it.
Yeah, I think the Croatia competition was one of those times when there were less people participating, and I was also close to 50% of the official competitors, and there were a bit less than 100, I think so. Just
that's legit.
Yeah, that was a competition to remember, because there was a huge thunderstorms, and the walls and windows were kind of shaking and all that stuff.
So shall we go over now that we're recording?
I think it's
that
fine
was just a warm-up, right?
because like on YouTube it will keep everything. I'm just too old to remember recording. Sorry. So my next question would be, how did you start with participating in WS+PC, and what were your initial feelings? Like, was it overwhelming? Was it scary? And how did you like perceptions change over the years? So I'll let Ega start again.
My first year was at WPC was 2008 in Belarus, in Minsk. And I think I qualified from 17th place in Poland or something like that, because previously there was a group of 4 people who always came, the same people. Most of them were from the same high school in Warsaw, but suddenly most of them didn't want to go to take part in this particular competition. So from the 17th place, I decided why not, and I completely fell in love with the competition. And then I decided to practice puzzles more. What else was part of the question? What I remember the most, the challenging path for the instruction booklet. So many of unknown words and rules. It was really overwhelming back then.
And did your like experience where your feeling about the competition change over time?
Definitely instruction booklet is not taking me that much time anymore. Maybe because I'm not devoting as much time for this. What changed? I liked competitions even more since then.
I feel you. Yeah, I remember solving every like Sudoku on my first like WS+PC, and then afterwards just like, oh, I know these. Finished the instruction booklet in 20 minutes.
Try to solve now Sudokus from Luca from Italy. You will finish virtually as a winner.
Okay, so next, Byron, how did you first start participating and what was your initial feelings?
I started participating when it was the summer of 2000. I was still 14 at the time that I first realized that there was an online qualifying test. I'd been vaguely aware of puzzle championships existing before that because of their promotion in Games magazine, but I found out through like the front section of the magazine that they were having an online test that year, and I was just like, okay, let's try that. I'm good at puzzles. Let's do this. So I did it. I had I believe the best score in Canada that year. I've had a 170. The test has shifted since then. The scores are way more competitive now that there's more and more experienced solvers. But I had to go with my father to New York City because flying alone, having just turned 15, was not realistic. So we had a great time in Stamford, Connecticut. We got to tour the city with Will Shorts because there were 4 tour options, and we picked the one no one else was picking. For whatever reason, I guess people, in retrospect, maybe visiting the World Trade Center might have been a good idea, but we also got to spend time with the whole group of different solvers from different countries, and it was really neat. I even got my most vivid memory of the experience is coming back from the Barnes and Noble all to rush to catch a train back to the Stamford Marriott, and hearing, and like the cabs in a rush. We're in it with Stan Newman, the famous crossword editor, and we've got the 2000 Subway Series, the World Series between the Mets and the Yankees, playing on the radio, and the cab driver is just super excited. He's chanting Benny, Benny for Benny Agbayani. And it's just, it all felt like it was moving so fast. And I was hooked after that first year. I'm like, I finished like 29th, and I was just, okay, let's keep going. These are cool trips, and I want to go for more of it. And over the years, like for the first decade or so, I was really just focused on winning. I wanted to be a champion, and I was close. I was a top 10 solver for a few years, and then the shift, I started to feel I was fading a little, so I shifted my focus to just, I'm here to have a fun vacation. This is sweet. I still want to solve hard. It's old habits die hard, but it's about the experience and meeting all the cool people.
Exactly. Even like for like say top solvers, they still like enjoy so much of like meeting people across the place, like-minded people who want to do puzzles together. Next up, Dave, what's your first, like, how did you start and what was your first impressions?
Yeah, so I started in 2010 in Philadelphia, and even though I'd been solving Sudokus for a while, I only found out about the competitions in 2009, right after one finished. And I can't remember how I qualified. I think there was a Canadian site that no longer exists. that had Sudoku, daily Sudokus or something. But anyways, ended up qualifying as A team. There was only 3 people in a team that year, and Byron and I did pretty well. I remember being a bit nervous, but it wasn't too bad. It is what it is. There was a few bad rounds that kept me kind of kept me down in the standings, but it was pretty consistent. I ended up 9th that year. And it's been downhill ever since. I haven't come close to the top 10 really. After that, I think my expectations kind of lowered. I try to do as well as possible, but it's just, I don't know, there's so many young solvers that it's hard to keep up with. So I just, try to use my experience to beat them by being consistent. Can't really do anything else. I do enjoy the team competitions most, and I probably look forward to that more than the individual part, just because it's a lot more different, I guess you could say. Like every year it's something new for the team ones. Sometimes there's really crazy team tasks and you can't really prepare for it. So I feel like I'm on an even footing with everyone else. Not sure. I do get nervous sometimes before the first round, but that's only because it's usually classics, and classics I'm pretty slow at now compared to everyone else. So as you can see with the online thing going on now, it's easily my worst round. Guess that's it.
Yeah. Did your experience like joining UN team like make an impact of your like team experiences?
It was good in a social way. Like I remember being a teammate of Ulla's actually in India for the WPC. And sometimes it's nice just to be on a team not with Byron anymore. but it's just I mean, it is what it is. It is pretty fun all in all. And sometimes it's the first time I meet someone, and sometimes it's someone I already know. And yeah, it is what it is.
Sounds fun. Ega, do you want to introduce your cat?
I wanted to say that I think almost everyone knows her name already, but I was in high school when I named her, and her name is obviously Sudoku.
Lovely. Hi, Sudoku. Okay. Next up, Tom, what was your, like, how did you start participating in WSPC, and what was your first feelings?
What's going back a little bit, isn't it? So like I first picked up Sudoku in I guess when it first appeared in the newspapers in the UK in 2004, like when I started university. It feels like a very long time ago now. And then, like we'd sort of solve amongst sort of classmates and so on there. And then like we saw in 2005, the Times newspaper had like a championship, but then I didn't know about it. And it was kind of like, oh, they didn't invite me. And like I was just joking around. If they'd invited me, I'd have won. I had no idea, but like I made sure that I went in 2006. I actually finished 4th that year, having lost in a semi-final to some guy called David McNeil, who's been around the block a few times as well. He schooled me in the arts of a well-placed bifurcation that day. But then also there, he kind of mentioned, you look like a good solver. You should be interested in trying out these things called the World Championships. And I think at the time, the Puzzle Championship and the Sudoku Championships were both kind of separate, but in any case, like I tried to kind of get involved, and then the first one that I really got involved with, I think the first WSC actually was 2006. Luca, that was the first one, but like the second one was in Prague in 2007. So that was the first one that I made. I guess my first impressions were, well, at the time, I mean, I guess I was a student and I felt pretty young there. I mean, I think the crowd has got younger over the years, but I would have been 20 or 21 at the time. I felt like pretty young, and kind of everyone on the UK team was a bit older than me, and seemingly, everyone else just seemed to have been like a bit of a crossover from the kind of the existing WPC crowd. I don't think there was as much of a split between WSC and WPC back in those days. I think that's developed over the years. But yeah, no, it was just almost kind of overwhelming, because I think the thing that I sort of got out of it most actually was just kind of chatting to a few names and faces that I'd kind of got involved in these things called blogs, and it used to be kind of live journals back in the day, and I can kind of remember who used to do them. Thomas Snyder used to do one. Jason Zafrineri did one. Simon Anthony had a very well written one as well, actually, and so kind of they were all there in Prague, and just some of those conversations, it was just eye-opening and mesmerizing, I think was that first experience. And it was a bit of a shame actually, because I couldn't actually go the following year, but in 2008. But from 2009, I don't think I've missed a championship, with the exception of 2014, where I didn't compete. Instead, I organized it.
Lovely. And next, Ulla, how did you start, and what's your feelings at first?
Yeah, in my hometown of Oulu, Finland, there was a puzzle championship in 2002. Well, I wasn't aware of it at all, but I saw a local newspaper to write a half-page article about that, and there were some web links in it. So I cut this article out of the paper that I will check those links, because I'm always interested in solving things, Sudokus and puzzles. And well, then went 7 years. I was just starting my maternity leave for my second kid, and I found this piece of paper, and okay, I'll check this now. Wow, what is this world? There are people actually competing in Sudokus and puzzles. And what? And there's also Finnish championship coming really soon. Okay, I'll take part. And what happened? I won Finnish championship. And I'm like, okay, well, much later I was told that, and I learned that the best Finnish solver wasn't participating that year, and that's why I got the first place. But anyway, and then of course I went to Philadelphia, and there was this initiatory, or the agenda of the event. The last night was gala dinner. I took my nice dress and high heels and everything, thought it will be really, really grand thing to do. And then in the competition, I was talking with someone about the dress, and they said that, well, we just wear t-shirts and shorts. I'm like, okay. Well, I took these clothes here over the ocean. I might as well wear them. I don't care what the others say. And that's what I did. And it was I think I was the only one having anything else but t-shirt. But yeah, that was kind of a fun part of it. Another thing that I learned in the first competition that was that, we have these pair tables, and there was a guy sitting next to me solving. He was doing really much erasing. And well, at that time, I just somehow learned to make some kind of markings and not try to solve it cleanly. And then I was thinking that person seems to have a lot of problems, And next day, he's in top 10. All right, learned something? Yes. this is good. And then I started talking to people that, so how do you solve this? And what was really amazing that everybody was so open about it. Everybody wants to share how they do it, what they use, what kind of techniques. And even in the next competition, I actually went to talk to Thomas Snyder. I was a bit afraid because he was the champion, but then he was also open-minded, sharing all his experiences and stuff. And then asking that, why do you guys do this? This is not like in sports that you don't want to share your best stuff. Well, the thing is that it comes down to the fact that you are just faster. Everybody can know all these gigs and stuff, but if your mind is not fast, then it's not. Yeah. So yeah, and feelings about competing. I used to be competing in sports. I'm very competitive in that sense, and of course, in this, since I had stopped competing in sports, now I had these sudokus and puzzles. And well, sudokus, I understand that there are beautiful minds that are much faster than mine. In puzzles, it took me a couple of years before I kind of gave up the idea that I could be much better in it, because it would take much time to practice and learn all the stuff that's ongoing, and having a family and stuff, just don't want to use all my time for puzzles. And I think it was the breaking moment was a long talk with Ferhat, one of the nicest people in the puzzle community, and he kind of taught me to be more, how to say, nice for myself, not to expect too much from myself, and go with the flow. What is the reason that you're participating? Is it that you have to be the first one, or is it that you want to be with these people and have fun? And that's when I started to have fun only. Of course,
and to set the standards on the gala nights.
Yeah,
I think more people make an effort these days.
yes,
because
people have been asking me, especially females, they've been coming to me and asking me that, will you do that next year again? Then I can bring also my dress. Yeah, that was fun, really fun. And I've never been afraid to make a fool out of myself, so.
Yeah, no, by the time I was in the competition, I already saw people wearing bringing beautiful dresses, and I also did that myself. I think it's really beautiful. So Vasso, what about you? How did you start participating in WSPC, and what was your initial thoughts?
Okay, I just wanted to say that, Ulla, no one in this panel has a problem of making a fool of themselves, I think. So yeah.
I think I agree.
Okay, I was solving puzzles since I was a kid, but there wasn't anything that I could, share, anyone who I could share this with. And at some point I thought that maybe taking the Mensa test would be a fun puzzle to solve, but I didn't really care about the rest of it. I just wanted to solve the puzzle. So apparently I solved it well enough for them to invite me. And I was asking, okay, but what do you do guys here? Is there anything interesting going on? At that point, the club was not organized as much as it is today. So there were just a few, gatherings with people talking and nothing else. So I said, okay, that was it. And at some point they shared an email with me with this puzzle championship. And I was, whoa, that's the time. That's when we're actually talking. And it was the qualifications for the Paprotnia 2010 championship. 6 people participated in the qualifications and 4 people went to Poland that year. So it wasn't, I have to say, it wasn't much of a competition really. But then, well, I was 22, I went there. I remember in the airport going alone with my dad and thinking, okay, what am I doing here? Where am I going and what's gonna happen there? And the first time I entered the big hall of the competition, I have to say it was a bit scary. So I totally agree with the rest of the people. The instruction booklet, I think I spent some days studying and trying to understand what these things are, but also excited about these. I do remember making a fool of myself at the first competition of during a round that I raised my hand and asked a question that everybody else knew the answer, and I asked it twice. It was about, I think, a crop key puzzle with no circles in it. And I said, mine doesn't have any circles in it. So I felt excited, and I still feel excited when I solve puzzles. And it has changed through the years because the first year I didn't know anyone. And now I think I mainly go for the people. That's half the truth, because I tried to solve these puzzles of this competition the past couple of days. And in one round, I totally failed to take my answers from a very hard puzzle and put them online and, you know, have the right answer checked. And I was very, very mad. When I say very mad, I had 20 minutes to go and I just shut off the computer and I said, no, I solved this hard puzzle. I don't care about anything else. So then I remember these feelings. There's a feeling of, you know, disappointment and frustration and, you know, management of all these negative feelings. And when you're solving in a competition live and you cannot really skip the competition and get storm out of there, you have to keep going. So you learn a lot about how you manage disappointment there for yourself. But there's also the other kind of rounds, the ones that you totally nail it and you go out and you have more points than you ever dreamt of getting. And that's a fantastic feeling. It takes you to a nice place.
Lovely. There's a request from the chat that we actually also have for Byron to sing the Sudoku sound. And since Byron's leaving in a few minutes, do you want to try it now?
I didn't particularly prepare for it, but I mean, if we're going, I'm just going to try and figure out where I put the lyrics, or let's. I'm all about giving the people what they want, and I know that there's not traditionally there is not much actual forethought that goes into the song, so the tune changes every time. Where did I put the lyrics? Surely I wrote them.
Worth saying a bit about the background of this song as well. This was 2011, right, Byron?
It was 2011. It was 2011. The song, the event was the first Beijing International Sudoku Tournament, I believe, and they invited a whole bunch of top solvers, which I still was at the time, over. And one thing they wanted to do was a talent show where the various solvers could show their talents, or at least that's what they told me. So they asked if I could like write a song or something. I'm like, oh sure, let's do that in our off time. Just spend a 24-hour period trying to write a song about Sudoku. Why not?
I was there in Beijing, Byron, and I don't remember any of the other talent show. Whatever they did, it was not in the same ballpark whatsoever.
They had a very great set of talent. Honestly, it was really impressive. But it struck me as I was there that okay, they've got some really neat, like quick change mask dancers. They've got some wonderfully trained musicians. They've got a singer, and then they gone through all this local talent. Then they announced me, and I was the last act, and I'm just like, all right, well, let's do it. I found the lyrics on my phone, so I'll try and give the people what they want, and then I'll be out for the remainder of this panel. But thank you very much for the fun experience so far. All right. As long as I remember being alive, I filled in every number, the 1, the 3, the 5. In between all the lines, the 7s and the 9s, the habitat in which I truly thrive. I spent so many days learning the tricks, the many ways to find that 8 or 6. With every single square, it's getting very rare that I create a problem I can't fix. Apart from these high notes. Sudoku, I am so glad I got to know you and all the places that we go to. I'll travel far for my Sudoku. When taking long trips on a jet or plane, Sudoku helps to occupy my brain. If I begin to fidget, I need only place a digit, and my attention's focused once again. Sometimes I tend to get a little sore and want to throw Sudoku out the door. But I have just one weakness, my fondness for uniqueness, and so I'll pick it up once more. Sudoku, so many times that I have broke you, whether a misplaced 4 or rogue 2. I'll try again with my Sudoku. 9, 3, 8, 6, 2, 7. 1, 5, 4, I see. 1, 2, 5, 8, 4, 9, then 7, 6, and 3. 4, 6, 7, 3, 1, 5, 8, 4, 2. Oh no. Oh, that 4 should be a 9. Now we're good to go. Sudoku, in good and bad times which we go through, picks me up when I'm feeling so blue. I'll always come back to Sudoku. Sudoku, in good and bad times which we go through, picks me up when I feel so blue. I'll always come back to Sudoku.
Yay! You're so good.
I'm so glad my voice held up for that.
We've got to follow that.
Good luck. I'm on my way out. Oh, there's a question from Jason in the chat.
Oh.
What's your favorite memory, funniest memory of any puzzle week? Like, I'm gonna just leave that one hanging for you because I can't top what I just did. So goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. Hope to see you in real life soon.
Yeah, see you all soon.
Take care, Byron. See you soon. Oh, Jason, that is a that's quite a question, that one.
Yeah, so shall we talk about our best memories now? Funniest, whatever comes into mind. Can start with Tom, maybe.
The one that Jason mentioned is a pretty funny memory, but this is a family friendly program, so I don't think we will mention that one. Oh, I don't know. Like, I mean, I think you could just pick any year and just pick some kind of memory from it. So I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess I have like lots of good memories from 2014, especially because that was the year that I organised. Maybe this one's like a slightly different one actually, because I guess for that year I was in charge of the WSC part of the week, which I guess for people who aren't familiar, the combined event lasts all week. So you tend to arrive on a Saturday or a Sunday, and then the competition, the WSC is Monday or Tuesday, and then there's a rest day, and then the WPC is usually on a Thursday, a Friday, and a Saturday, and then everything sort of draws to an end, and people sort of go home the following Sunday. But yeah, so I'd sort of just finished off the bit that I was responsible for, and we'd sort of had our WSC gala night, and I overindulged. I think that's fair to say. And then yeah, like typically what people normally do on a rest day is there's like some sightseeing that's organised. So I think that year people were packed away on these tour buses to get stuck in the traffic jams of London. I was feeling worse for wear and actually stayed at the hotel and it was just a lovely, peaceful, tranquil morning, just chatting with a couple of other people who thought, you know what, I'm just going to stay at the hotel. And so that was kind of one of those times where I thought, I'm at peace now. These are my people. I'm relaxed. We're having a lovely morning. The sun was shining, etc. That was definitely a good time.
You realize we were on those buses, Tom, right? We are here now.
See, I know all about these buses because like I live close to where the route lives these days, and I can only imagine what the traffic jams were like. And only be glad that I wasn't on them.
What about you, Dave? What are some best, funniest memories?
I have memories from each competition. There was an event in Senek. I believe it was a trivia Sudoku contest, like a samurai Sudoku with 9 numbers that matched with 9 different things, and it was a team event. We didn't know going in how big the teams were, so I had asked Jason to be on my team because he's like the resident trivia guru, and apparently a lot of other people did too. And when we found out it was only teams of 3, a lot of us were left out of a team with him. So we formed our own team. We called ourselves Jason's Jilted Lovers, and we ended up winning the competition somehow. Yeah, it was crazy. And Jason's team ended up coming second that year, I believe. So it was one of those things. It was just really random, but they wouldn't let us say the team name when we went up to accept our prize. So I don't know. It was kind of funny at the time, but yeah, I don't know. That kind of sticks out as one from that year. There's ones from other years. It's mostly outside of competition, I guess, like escape rooms that have been done. Karaoke. There's been some fun times there after the competitions are done. Yeah, I guess that's it for now.
Yeah, we should definitely get Vasso to tell us about karaoke.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say that. Yeah, that's I think probably my favorite part of the competition. Of course, puzzles are great too, but karaoke is in my heart. So I think the first time it was the organizers that had us as an evening option, the karaoke night. and then we loved it, and every year after that we kind of expect it. I really can't describe in words what karaokes are in a setup with people from every country, every continent. The most memorable thing from the last karaoke I had the honor to organize there, a pop-up karaoke, was that everybody knew Queen. I think we played their whole discography, and it's a long one. And there's people that don't really speak English, but they do try the English songs, which I really admire, and everybody enjoys, I think. Yeah, and we saw a live performance here, so not much to talk about, right?
Yeah, karaoke are definitely some of my best memories, especially seeing all these people who have been really seriously solving puzzles for a week and now like in the karaoke singing. It's very lovely. Ulla, do you want to go next? Your best memories.
I don't know where to start. Every trip is a best memory. I just get to so different place when I get to the competition. I can forget everything else in my life and just enjoy this group of people that understand me. There's no one here at home who I can talk about this passion regarding solving. So and it's amazing to be in that kind of environment where everybody accepts you regardless from where you are, what you wear, what you do, anything. Yeah. But yeah, definitely karaoke's are my best favorite as well. It's singing is one of my hobbies, so I really enjoy that. And well, I do enjoy all the time when we are able to, just spend time together as a group. Yeah. And one personally most memorable moments was actually in London. And I've been um, I have been waiting for the round in general in multiple competitions, but sometimes in Sudoku rounds you have only one puzzle to solve, and then being able to complete that in the given time, because I know that I cannot complete one round with multiple Sudokus in time, but that one puzzle maybe. And in London, it finally happened, and I got to shout finished with double N's. And I made a t-shirt out of it.
Oh man, I'm so glad to hear that. Like, I remember like thinking about all the designs of the rounds, and we thought like it would be quite nice to just have one towards the end of the competition, to leave people with a good feeling and hopefully get like at least, because it was 2 grids, right? And I think it was possible to at least get one of them, and we sort of gave partial points.
It was kind of a samurai type. You had 2 grids intertwined, and then that it was kind of maybe less than a minute left or something like that. That no bonus points, but still I finished.
Yeah, no, we wanted people to finish that, and it was kind of like, I remember there, like I was sat at the front at the time, and then it was kind of like, maybe we haven't thought this through. There are a lot of people in the room, and they're all finishing, and it's kind of like maybe we need to get some more people in the room to help collect all the papers. And so I sort of at the front was sending a message, guys, come down. We need some extra help here.
Yeah, but thanks for that.
I'm glad you enjoyed that, Ulla. That's nice to hear.
I really enjoyed that. Yeah, but there are different things that I remember from different places. The one time we went to these caves, saw my first ever bat, a live bat. Wow. of course, the Chinese wall, and something everywhere.
I remember
But most importantly, the people.
I remember the cave. That was we don't have Byron with us anymore, but that was the night we went to the wine cellar, right? And there's some pictures somewhere of Byron, a glass of red wine, a glass of white wine at the same time.
Yeah, but the concert there, or the music there in the cave, was awesome.
All right. And what about you, Ega? Some best memories?
I can repeat what everyone is saying, that there are plenty of memories from every year. But let's go with the Canadian anthem story, which is connected with Polish team. We were trying to celebrate Janek's victory in WSC in Philadelphia in 2010. And this is, I think, Polish people do when you want to celebrate something. You just sing a Polish version of Happy Birthday to this person, no matter if this person doesn't have a birthday on the day. But yeah, this is what we do. So we sang Happy Birthday to Janek. And then a minute later, we see Byron from Canada is singing Canadian anthem. What's going on? And I think David should finish the story.
Yeah, I think we kind of dared him to do it, to just kind of go up on stage and sing the national anthem, and he did. Weren't really expecting it, but we went along with it and sang with him from the crowd. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
We thought that Canadian team thought that we were singing Polish national anthem, but nah, that wasn't that.
Yeah, none of us spoke Polish, so we did think it was a national anthem of some sort. So yeah, it was our mistake. I guess the words are very similar. Happy birthday and whatever.
Lovely memories. Next up, if you were to tell people something that they should not miss during WSPC, what would that be? Dave, do you want to start first?
So every year in the WSPC, I've made it kind of like a side mission to go to McDonald's and have McDonald's in that country. And so far I've done it in every one of them. I usually get a Big Mac, but obviously like in India, I couldn't do that. I had to get a big Maharaja Mac because they don't do beef. So I ended up getting like a chicken burger that was like a Big Mac. But yeah, I recommend doing that, or something, I don't know, quirky that you can't really do, or maybe you can do elsewhere at home, but it's different doing it in a different country. And yeah, I don't know, that comes top of mind.
Ulla, what about you? Something people cannot miss.
Well, I think that I would suggest to everybody that whenever you go to the competition, if it's your first or if it's your last or whatever time, try to talk to someone you don't know beforehand. You know, get to know someone new, and you probably find a good friend.
I think that's a good advice, actually. I mean, I think more recently the competitions have like bigger contingents from each country. So like instead of maybe 3 or 4 from each country, you might have more like 10, or maybe some countries have even 20 people, and like everyone tends to kind of stick to their own kind of country at first. But like it's so rewarding just to kind of mix and meet new people and hear new stories and yeah. Share experiences.
I push myself with that as well. I just try to, I know already maybe 100 persons from this community, but still I want to learn to know someone new every time.
That is a really good advice. I think I will also take that as well. Vasso, do you want to go next?
Yes, I was gonna say something like that. So going to the puzzle competition for the puzzle rounds and then going to sleep, I think it's a whole missed opportunity there. So even if you do really like puzzles more than people, I dare say, there will be puzzles in the evening. So why don't you try and find the people who want to keep solving puzzles after the first 12 hours and join them. Yeah, that's a fun part you should miss.
Yeah, I remember joining you all like last year, like in the evening and solving. That was a lot of fun. About you, Tom?
Yeah, like I guess there are all sorts of little quirks about how like the day goes and how the week goes. So like maybe I'll sort of run through a few of them. So like I mean, even if it's just, you know, like during the day when you're in between rounds, just kind of going out and having a coffee and just chatting to people and sort of debriefing on kind of how the rounds just went and kind of thinking you did really badly, but it's like, oh no, everyone found that really hard, and suddenly finding reassurance. That's a nice thing. Yeah, we kind of mention also like the secret underground puzzle races, which I can't remember when they started. Maybe that was 2010 actually. But no, there's normally someone supplying large quantities of free puzzle magazines, and so like everyone gets a copy of the same one and tries to kind of race them. So like I mean, I guess you can kind of do this stuff online these days, but like back in the day, we all meet together, it's all there on a magazine, we have our pencils. You'd think spending all day solving puzzles we'd have enough, but no, we want more. And they're like some really good memories actually, and like everyone gets involved. So like some years we try and get the Japanese involved. I think one of my absolute favorite ones was I think this was 2010 as well. We managed to get Hideaki Joe and Jason solving Kakuru together. And I guess back in the day there was this website nikali.com where like it was the first sort of real online competitive thing that you could do, and whenever it was a Kakuro, it was either Hideaki or Jason who would win, and they were sort of both absolute titans and just significantly quicker than anyone else. And so like watching those two just go at it in real life before our eyes, that was something pretty cool. And then what else? I mean, like we spoke a little bit about the rest day. There's normally some sightseeing. You kind of get to see a country that you've probably never been to before, right? And kind of see some of the sites. That's normally pretty good. I guess on that rest day, what's happened in sort of more recent years is like people will maybe skip that and decide to do some escape rooms. I think Dave, you were saying some of that. I think one thing we've learned is, you know, I think puzzle solvers like escape rooms, but I'm kind of shocked by the appetites that some puzzle solvers have for escape rooms. You know, they'll spend all day doing like 6 or 7 rooms in a day, and it's just wow. That's intense. I think I probably draw the line after maybe like 2 or 3. That's probably plenty. Yeah, I mean, I thought that I'd done.
Apologize.
Sorry.
Polish team is not going to apologize for our trip in Prague.
There were many good things about the trip in Prague. That's true. So yeah, there's sometimes like diversions like that, and then I think this has like come up on other panels, like at the end of the WPC. Like it's more a WPC tradition than WSC. I think you asked the puzzle solvers this, like, do you prefer karaoke or do you prefer football? But there's always been like a football match that's that they try and unorganize, which is always that's great fun to take part in. There are complete wide range of abilities. Some years it's just like madness. I remember the football match we organized in 2014 where we had like this big old pitch, and it was probably about 20 players on each side. That's always great fun. There are always like some people who kind of take that like really seriously. There's some like immensely talented like young Turkish kids or something, or I don't know, like absolute superstars, and then there are kind of people who are just there just to give it a go. So I mean, I think kind of there's been a couple of years where we've had Kota Morinishi and Ken Endo take part, and just watching them join in, like, you know, there are absolute superstars in the solving world, and they sort of want to come in and join in and play the football as well. That's really good. And then yeah, the karaoke. We've talked a couple of years. I think there's been like a couple of years where there weren't any plans for it to happen, and then suddenly, Vasso, there were plans. I think 2018 was one of those years, and we were like, where's the karaoke? It's like, all we need is some speakers. Oh, you've got the speakers from the competition already. Give us a laptop. We'll make YouTube work, and then amazing.
Yeah, I think I have at least been requesting such an event every year if there wasn't one planned.
I think my favorite thing was actually 2019, right, when the German organizers, who put on like a really good championship in 2019, and like just taking care of everything, and done a really good job. And then sort of towards the end of the night, it's kind of like, oh, we were thinking of having karaoke, and they sort of came up to Vasso, can you sort it out for us?
But it worked,
and Vasso was
didn't
like,
it?
yes, I can do that. No problem.
Yeah, right. I mean, after the first time, everything is easy, right?
I think the thing with that is it's always like a bit nervous to start off with, and then a couple of people go, and then suddenly everyone wants to join in. That's the beautiful thing about the karaoke.
Was it in Hungary where we kind of first time did it on our, you know, just because we wanted to?
I can remember, yeah, it was a projector, wasn't it? In Hungary. Like it was in the actual competition hall, and someone had found it. I can't remember how that started though.
Yeah, but I think it wasn't in the agenda first, but then because the previous year had been fun, I think it just there were lots of people wanting to do that again.
I think in Hungary, there was going to be an organized karaoke to a place next to the hotel of the competition. And
That's
then,
it.
yeah, something happened there, and we had to do it in the hall of the competition.
Right.
I remember now. That's great memory, Vasso.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how that came up. But I think we missed one very, very important part of the competition that we all adore, the Q&A. Yeah, I'm not laughing. I mean, the first time might be a bit overwhelming because you have to listen to everything and be sure you understand everything. The second time might be a little bit, oh, well, okay, I already know this stuff. Should I be here? But let's be here. And why are these people asking these silly questions? The third year or the fourth year, it's becoming really annoying about these people asking all these questions. But after you pass a certain, let's say, threshold, you start to enjoy that again. So I'm at that level. So I really enjoy that.
I think it's
Yeah,
more
I think
enjoyable
now-
than beer, though.
Yeah.
What?
Drinking beer.
Oh yeah,
And then-
yeah, absolutely.
Then meeting the people for the very long time.
Yeah.
But nowadays I'm also kind of listening to the conversation that does the organizer understand the question from the person and the other way around, and try to clarify if there seems to be some kind of miscommunication.
I absolutely adore the most common answer. You will see the puzzle, you will understand.
Yeah.
Yes, true.
But I think we all agree that first Q&A session after this mandatory break, we will love it.
Yeah, I wonder how fast it will be when people don't get settled in to start.
I think it's going to be a 3 or 4 hour session, something like that. So we need to have a beer there, or 10.
I suppose the other thing to mention is like some of the evening events and entertainment. So like sometimes like there isn't anything organized and you just go to the hotel and you know, socialize with everyone and do underground secret puzzle racing and so on. But like, I guess this is less of a thing more recently because I think like in the evening they like schedule GP finals like instead, like, and they sort of take up the evening. I think they get increasingly long actually. I think the one in Germany went on and on and on. But there have been like some pretty good like evening events over the years. Like I think they've had like music quizzes. I think in 2016, right, they had like the team kind of Croco Liga team competition. I like that. I remember there's a team name called I Hate Kropki or something.
Croatia had that nice evening. Remember with the band?
Yeah. That was good. There was one in 2009, wasn't there, Raga? I don't know if you want to talk about that or not. That was the year they organized like this just really kind of weird, bizarre, like beauty pageant they called Miss Sudoku. I think you took part in that, didn't you, Aga?
No comment.
That was something to behold.
Did I have a choice back then?
Well, you probably did, but I don't know.
There was I'm trying to save you right now. There was a pajama party Sudoku competition at some point.
Oh yeah.
I think it was Senec.
That was 2016.
Yeah, Slovakia.
How do you guys remember when it was? I mean, I have it all in one bucket in my memory.
I kind of remember the venues, but I do need to check the years.
The
What
years
year
and the
was it?
venues, like I think I can do like Byron. I think I could probably list them all off.
I can't list the cities, not all the cities, but I just remember the venues, how they look like, then, you know, the floor plan.
It hasn't blurred together yet. They're still fairly distinct, each one, for me anyways. I'm sure it will, though, as I attend more of them.
That's what happens
Yeah,
when you get old, Dave.
Yeah, in Paprotnia in 2010, there was one fun activity during the night. The smoke alarms started ringing. At the time, the hotel was such that you could smoke everywhere. So somebody smoked somewhere, and then fire alarm went off, and everybody out.
I'm sorry, I completely don't remember that because as an organizer, we went to sleep at 5-6 a.m. and get up at 8 a.m. So when it smoked alarm during the night, we were still there marking the puzzles.
But that was a bit kind of, as in Finland we had already moved away from this having. I'm a smoker myself, but no smoking, only in dedicated areas and not inside anywhere almost, and things like that. And then coming there, it was a bit. I felt like guilty if I if I smoked inside. It was just strange, and then we weren't really happy with that kind of a wake up. But it's fun now afterwards.
Who needs sleep, right?
Yeah, that's so true. Tell me, is there anyone who feels refreshed when going back home?
I'm usually exhausted by the time I go back home. I'm almost to the point of burning out just from all the puzzles. And yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it goes on so long. It just feels like I'm not even sure why I'm still competing. Like I should just be checking in or drinking during the rounds or something. Like it's just, it's terrible sometimes. It's almost like an endurance competition at times.
I think on like a slightly more serious note, actually, like, I mean, sort of recovery and like feeling refreshed, like after, like everyone's just sort of exhausted because they've, like, especially on that final night, right? Because they've just been up to silly hours doing karaoke until people complain and carry on doing karaoke anyway. But like that week after, you kind of travel back and go home. Like, I mean, there is a physical exhaustion thing, but like, I mean, I think I've noticed over the years talking to people, like that first week back where you just kind of come back to reality, and like it's like a little bit of like an emotional kind of low. It's kind of like, wow, I've just had this like really great week, enjoyed it, like it's just been absolutely carefree, just, and then you're suddenly very flat that week, and it almost takes like a week or two just to recover and just ease yourself back into normal life. And you know, like I thought that maybe that was just me, but like chatting to people over the years, I think like many competitors feel the same. It's kind of like they've had this wonderful week, and it's kind of like, oh, I've got to get used to reality again.
There are some of us who also have an experience of organizing the WPC or combined event, and if you survive the effort of the effort before the event, when you are organizing this, combining this with your day-to-day job or school or whatever, then you survive the event. Whoa! After that, you can do whatever.
I've got a few stories from 2014 that that maybe I won't share here, but yes, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I usually feel, of course, I'm physically really exhausted, but I feel mentally kind of cleansed. Would that be a good word? That just, you know, everything from before that week has, you know, gone away. Nothing. You have just focused, being on present and being with the people, and it's so refreshing to be away from all these obligations and the normal life.
It's like a summer camp.
Yeah.
It's a bit tiring summer camp.
Yeah, I find there's also a jet lag when I get back, although I have to cross an ocean every time I go. So it usually takes about a week to get back to normal, 2 weeks if I go to Asia. It's significant, the jet lag afterwards. I don't feel it when I'm in the competition. And even though I arrive, I'm usually quite tired because I can't sleep on the flights coming to the competition. And some of them are quite long. Like the one to Beijing or Bangalore. It's quite a while to get there.
I was going to say, like, lots of us are based in Europe, and most of the championships are in Europe. So I guess we don't have to worry about the jet lag. But one story which comes to mind is 2013 when we went to China, and I think when we arrived, there was just like a sign at the lobby, and I think the sign said, "There's a Polish party in whatever room number it was." That was kind of like on the Saturday night or whatever. So like, you know, we'll go along and we'll join this Polish party. And as always, the Polish team are resourceful and found all the strongest liquors that are known to man.
Duty-free.
Duty. And yeah, there were sort of two things that I remember from that. There was one where kind of on the Polish team, you obviously have Janek, who's one of the world's top solvers and has been world champion and all the rest of it. And I remember this night, him looking a little worse for wear, to say the very least. But the other thing was just like what a remarkable cure for jet lag that sort of ridiculous amount of drinking was. Yeah, like I found kind of after that, like I'd done horrible things to sort of all my natural body rhythms and all the rest of it, but it meant that actually I could wake up in the morning and be like, Great. Let's carry on.
Yeah.
We should probably say, please solve and drink responsibly.
Going back to
I do remember, sorry, Tantan. Okay, I do remember that we tried once to do a science experiment of whether alcohol helps you solve puzzles faster and more accurately or not. And our sample was a bit biased, so we really wanted it to work. But I remember that the first glass of wine really did help. The second glass of wine was a bit okay, maybe that's worse. I don't remember what happened after the third glass of wine.
Yeah, in 2019, I believe, before the Sudoku World Cup final, I was like asking Tom to get me a cocktail, and then I had a few sips, and then I won that year. I never really win a playoff at all. So I I would say it helps.
I mean, maybe we should be telling these stories, right?
I think it
Well,
stops
I've got
helping
another
at a
one,
certain
right?
point.
I've
When-
got
when-
I've got another one, like from 2011, this Beijing tournament where Rishi Puri from India, like, a really good friend of mine, and like it was like a really competitive sort of field, and like the first morning of competition, he just felt like he was absolutely bombed it, and he was like a little bit down, and he was like, Tom, just like, I've had enough. I'm just gonna have a beer. I don't care about being competitive. And then we sort of chatted again, like at dinner, and it's kind of, oh, Rishi, how's it gone? It's like, oh, yeah, no, I think the beer really worked for me. Moving up the leaderboard. But yeah, there we go. Maybe we're just remembering all the times that it worked, and maybe forgetting all the times that it didn't. I don't know.
I do remember in Beijing, though, I tried to get a beer. I think it was around noon locally, and they wouldn't serve it to us. It was too early in the day, which was really disappointing. So had to make a special trip to get some outside of town.
So when we don't really have good results, it's on us. When you do have good results, it's on alcohol. We can agree on that and move on.
All right, let's move to our next question. Although before that, I would want to ask Aga, do you have anything you want to add for like something people should not miss for WSPC?
Maybe also a small part which some might don't pay attention to, but I do pay a great attention. The very first day when you meet everyone after 1 year break, and you greet with everyone, a lot of hugs and shouts and a lot of emotions. This very first day is really a brilliant one. So I hope that when we will meet next time, there won't be no social distancing rule, because it won't work.
I totally feel. So next question would be, do you have some advice for like new participants who might only been to like 1 or 2 or none of WSPC before? Ega, do you want to continue?
Maybe the most basic advice, if you have a chance to go for a WPC, just do this. You won't regret it ever. So use your chance whenever you will have it, no matter if it's B team, C team, even Z team. It's worth the effort, worth the time. It's worth the money, because most of us pay for the trip on ourselves. So yeah, use the chance, and after the event, you will love solving puzzles even more.
Yeah. Ulla, do you want to go next?
Yeah, so I think that the best thing is that just, well, I totally agree with Aga, but then after that, just don't get disappointed if you are not as good as you think you would be. Just enjoy, learn the tricks, talk to people, ask how they do it. And, the first year especially would be kind of a learning curve on really steep hill. So utilize that one. And then the next time you are all familiar with the concept, and then you can, really shine, I would say. Exceptions from the German country, these couple white persons. But yeah, just go with the flow. And there's no one there that will harm you. Everybody will love you.
Yeah, I second that. Tom, why don't you go next?
What's the question? Advice or
Advice for newcomers?
Yeah, like I guess if you're doing your very first one, like I know like it's a competition and you prepare for it and all the rest of it. I mean, I think what I would say is if you've only ever done kind of offline competitions, then even if you're sort of going like really focused to sort of get the best result you can, it's probably not going to work out for you. You're probably not going to be challenging right at the top. I mean, I think there's just like it takes a year or two just to get used to it all, right? Like, I mean, I think even if you think you do a lot of puzzles, like it's a lot to get used to. You're doing round after round after round, and so like I mean, I think you look at the first years that like some of the great champions, sort of great solvers. Like I mean, I think we had a panel with Walker and Palmer, and like they did all right, but like they were like top 20 or something on their first competitions. They weren't sort of right up there at the top to start off with. So with that in mind, like I mean, I think what Ulla is saying is like even if you think you are really competitive, relax, take it all in, enjoy everything that there is to be offered from the whole week. The competition and sort of the excitement of solving all these puzzles, and that's one thing, but it's certainly not the only thing. I think the one exception to that actually is now that I think about it, there's a guy on the UK team, Neil Zussman, and I think his first competition was 2011, and like I think he finished 10th that year, which is probably up there with like the best debuts of all time. Still, I think it remains his best ever result as well. So he's gone the other way. He started off really good, and then he's been sort of, I don't know, like not bad, like 12th, 13th, etc. Still like solidly top 20, but I think 10th still remains his best one.
And Dave, what about your advice?
Yeah, I find what would be helpful is refueling between rounds. Well, for me, it's usually a mix of little chocolate candy bars and glasses of water, because it's surprisingly draining if you're not prepared for it. And it may not hit you right away, but when it does, you don't want it to hit you in the middle of a round. Especially like a 90-minute round or something. And I find just like taking care of yourself in between rounds helps. I also sometimes blog in between rounds, just my thoughts of the prior round, just so by the time the next one starts, I've completely forgotten everything before that, and I can just entirely focus on what's coming in ahead. And yeah, I don't know. It helps to be more consistent, because it just takes one or two bad rounds and it can completely deflate you. And it's kind of nice to avoid that by just being prepared. And sometimes it also helps to have like a Tylenol or aspirin on hand, in case you do get headaches and stuff and water isn't helping. I mean, yeah, or if food's not agreeing with you.
I was going to say on that, and then like I think like some of the solvers on the other panels, like they've mentioned, sometimes you get these rounds where, you know, like there's just one single puzzle to do, and like often they're linked, and like if you make a mistake on those, you're just going to end up with 0. And like scoring 0 on a round is pretty demoralizing. And like I guess the opposite to that is like, yeah, take care of yourself, but like also like it's the nice thing about it is there's always like another round, so like you almost don't have the chance to linger on like a bad performance in one round, because like there's the next round to go straight to, and you can kind of put it behind you. And I think that's definitely another important piece of advice. Like, you know, just because you think you did badly in one round doesn't matter, move on. There'll be plenty more.
Does anyone remember such a full competition that you didn't do badly in any of the rounds? Yeah.
Oh, 2014 was a good round for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So get used to it. You will make mistakes for the newcomers. Everybody makes them.
Everybody make mistakes. Even solvers like Ken or Kota make mistakes.
I think, yeah, just going back to the blog, this reminds me, you will make a stupid mistake. You will, in a Sudoku, you'll have like a given 6 and you'll write a 6 next to it, and you'll think, what the hell were you thinking? And this doesn't happen to you. This happens to everyone. Like, I mean, I think going back to like the live journal blogs, I think Thomas Snyder, like, you know, sort of at the time, he was just like the untouched kind of Sudoku champion. And he's also won the WPC as well, right? But he has like a blog post of just all his silly mistakes that he's just sort of they're there, and you're kind of thinking, oh, right,
oh my
okay,
God,
like someone like that is doing that, then
as well.
Actually,
Sorry?
what we started to do at Polish competitions, we prepare a special gallery for photos of this kind of mistakes, like an empty cell in a completely filled Sudoku, or 2 pencil marks left in a box. So it's those pictures are the most commented ones.
So
Can you remember what is the puzzle name where you fill in numbers? It's a puzzle competition. You have numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and you have to fill them so that they don't touch the same digit.
different neighbors, something like that.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I think it was in Slovakia. They had the first round was the paper strips that were glued from the end as a round with the twist.
In
You
Bulgaria,
remember? Yeah. So on that round, for that puzzle type, I had 2 empty cells. Next time, there was a second round, couple rounds in between, where the same puzzle type was, and I left 1 empty cell. And then there was a third time this puzzle type came up, and then I finished.
I absolutely like this last 30 seconds of the round, when you hear that people are flipping pages to check if they don't have such silly mistakes. And basically everyone does that.
There is one thing though, for Sudokus, I find maybe about 90% of my mistakes are done in the last 5 seconds of the solve. Like just when you're about to move on to the next one and you're just filling out, that's usually when you don't notice. And I don't know, because I find if you make a mistake early enough in a Sudoku, it's very easy to catch and correct. But if you do it at the very end, you're not gonna notice, especially if you write really poorly, which I do, or don't erase clearly. Sometimes those ones look like 7s, or you know, like it's just the way it happens. I mean,
I think you're right, Dave. Like, I mean, I've never sort of got like really good on like world level, but like in the UK level, like I've missed out on like winning some competitions doing silly stuff, and like the mistakes always, or the majority of them, seem to happen like right at the end of the puzzle, where you're just solving perfectly fine, and then you're just filling them out like too quickly, and like the advice I always tell myself, and I don't take it, like I still make these mistakes. But like what I found sort of worked was actually, filling in those last few digits to try and not get excited and like write them down as quickly as I can, but almost just like talk to myself as I'm writing the digit and just like slow down just for the last 10-20 seconds. It's kind of like, well, I'm going to lose 10-20 seconds because I'm not writing as fast as I can, but that seemed to work. I wish I could remember that more. I still make the same mistakes.
But on the flip side, if you do that too often, you might end up not being able to finish a Sudoku or whatever with 10 to 20 seconds left in a round. Like I've come close a few times. Like there's someone like just staring at me, like a marker right in front, just waiting for like the buzzer. And I'm like still solving and scribbling. And there was one time in China, I think I just needed to fill in 5 or 6 more digits. I was like furiously scribbling. I think it was the Great Wall of China round or whatever. The samurai Sudoku, or it wasn't really a samurai. It was like a wall shaped. Anyways, I was like furiously scribbling. I had the answer. I just couldn't get down in time. And I just needed a few more seconds. It was really, but I was like, I could feel the eyes watching. And it can be intense. And sometimes you can't check over your work the same way. But I don't know.
Yeah. And Vasso, what about you? Advice to newcomers?
Oh, advice. Yes, I have a lot of it because many of the people in the Greek team were their first time during these 10 years. And we had to say the same thing. So the first piece of advice is that if you will like the competition, and that's probably the case, you will go to the next one. So whenever a newcomer tries to do their best and score the best score, let's say they fail. Sorry, but they fail. So the first time is all about, as Ulla said, get to know the competition and what's this about. So what we advise them is to go for the low puzzles. Think that you will get a 10% of the points of the round. If you do anything more than that, we'll be more than happy with your performance. But don't try to solve the big one, at least not now. And I definitely did this thing that I missed one box, one cell, and lost the whole puzzle so many times. So that now I force myself to just go back to the puzzle and let's draw with my hand on it. Say I want this. I'm checking everything again, and I think this works. The mistakes are much less now. And the final tip that maybe we all think that it's a given, but it's not for the newcomers, is that having a strategy before you enter each round works. So you need to know which puzzles you're going to solve. You can't decide on the spot because on the spot you don't have time. So have some ideas that I'm going to start with this one, and maybe choose one of these ones later. And even if you do all these things, you're still going to get 10% of the points of the round, and that's okay.
Can I just add on the strategy, actually? Because I think that's really interesting. And sometimes you get like really ambitious and you think, well, I'm going to maximize all my points and I'm going to sort of do all the sort of the hard ones with all the big points. And sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. But I think, especially for newcomers, because there's typically lots of variety, like a really sound first strategy is do all the ones that you like first. There are plenty of puzzles. You're probably not going to get around to all of them, so why not try the ones that you like the best? You'll probably score more points that way, even if you kind of think I should focus on this really
but
big
don't
puzzle.
take the 100 pointer.
Well, if you like the 100 pointer, then
yeah,
fine,
but still, the round might not be long enough for you to solve it.
Oh, and that reminds me, there's a beautiful way to solve puzzles by following logic. And then there's luck, and then there's tries. During the competition, you don't get the beautiful route. You just try as fast as you can. And then afterwards, you can resolve the puzzle and find all the nice logic behind it.
I want to add for the strategy. Sometimes for puzzles or Sudokus, I leave the easiest one for the very end. Just because if I know I can't finish a harder one that I'm working on and I have like 3 or 4 minutes, it's nice to have a fallback. And it does feel pretty good to solve something in the last minute and to use that emotion and carry it into the next round. There is a lot of ups and downs, and it's nice to kind of end on an up. And that's one of the easiest ways to do it. So,
like even better than that, and this has happened to me like a couple of times, and it is just like the best feeling. It's kind of like, oh, I've left myself some time and I've saved this one, and I think it's going to take that long, and then like probably by luck you sort of get through it even faster than you thought. It's kind of like, oh, I still have some time.
Then you can check those empty cells.
Yeah. And do have a spare eraser with you. I spent the whole championship having lost my eraser and trying to ask from people to give me their second one. They didn't. I mean, they wanted to, but they did need a second eraser. So, yeah.
Ask me next time.
Yes, Ulla, thank you. I'll have at least 4 of them next time. It's not about the erasers.
And adding on to the strategy, I think like don't dwell on your like mistakes. Go to other things. Like don't try really hard to fix it, because I had a really bad experience spending 20 minutes trying to fix a puzzle. I felt I was really close, but I wasn't. Just try to solve
it. Did you try to fix it without erasing it totally?
I think at first I just tried to tweak it, and then I raised everything, and then but I sort of trusted my instinct or like my believed logic path, and I just kept making mistakes on that single thing. It wasn't worth it.
I know what you mean there.
It's kind of like with a puzzle.
But also just like going to something else and come back might bring you a different perspective, and then you might just like see what went wrong. And also like when you're stuck on a puzzle, just go to something else. You don't have to finish one thing just because you started it.
Yeah, except if you're in a final. In Philadelphia, there, you remember Jan from Poland.
Killer Sudoku, where the numbers could repeat in the cages.
Yeah, he put the first digit and that was wrong.
Oh,
and
I remember
everybody
that.
in the audience saw it, and he erased it like 3-4 times, always erased everything else but that first digit, which was wrong. And then he finally got it, and then went to win the competition. But then, looking at that 10 feet away, come on, man.
My colleague from the team, of course, we are more emotional about that than everyone else in the audience. So my teammate was, he still is a smoker, and he was going for a smoke, saying, when I will be back here, he better get right this digit when I will be back. He didn't.
I was involved in the Sudoku GP final once in Bangalore. I think it was 2017. And I remember, I think it was the second Sudoku. It was terrible. It was the one that stumped people, and like you can't skip them because it's GP final. And I can't remember what it was. It was some weird one, and I'd started last anyways, so there wasn't a lot of pressure on me. I think it was actually Sudoku. It was just terrible. And I remember thinking I want to finish at least ahead of one person, and somehow I managed to finish ahead of 2 people, even though it took me about 20 minutes to get through. And it was the most frustrating thing.
Maybe that's a separate topic about kind of like in the finals, people sort of reserve these extra special puzzles, and I remember that XV, which was quite something, but maybe one you want to be doing for fun rather than under the intense pressure of a final. I think one year, like because what they do with those puzzles, right? Like they sort of contact the authors of the GP rounds and they get them to do one more puzzle and they kind of put together the finals. And so, like, I mean, I think there's like a little bit of competitive mindset with all the authors saying, oh, well, it's for the final, I'm going to give them my absolute best puzzle. And so, like, effectively the organizers end up with like this collection of like really super hard puzzles. So it becomes like a little bit of an arm race. I do sometimes feel a little bit sorry for the participants. Although I remember talking to Calver of Germany, and he's been in many playoffs and been in probably more WSCs and WPCs than all of us, right? And he was like, well, no, I kind of disagree. You know, this is the finals. This is what it's all about. This is the best of the best. And like, if you've got it, you've got it. And if you've not, then that's the way it is. So, yeah, I guess there are different views there.
Having 50 more minutes, have one last question for everyone. So how does participating in WS+PC influence your life outside of Sudoku and puzzle? Aga, do you want to go first?
Oh, it definitely helped me to break a barrier to speak English. I remember maybe the first year I spent entirely with the Polish team. But later on, firstly, I was glad that I understand what people are saying to me. Then I started to tell basic stories, maybe after one beer or 2 beers or more. Then I was glad that I understand Tom's beautiful English accent. And yeah, I do think it helps me in my current work when I work in a completely English-speaking environment, and I think I wouldn't have a chance to start really speaking in this language. And the second thing, I can focus more easily. I don't feel that time pressure. It's not stopping me from doing things. Yeah, I have 30 seconds to fill in 50 digits. Yeah, why not? That's the time. That's what I need to do. And it did happen once to me in my work life when I had like 10 minutes to write a absolutely important document, and I had really one chance to do this. And, you know, okay, it's like a task.
Like a competition. What about you, Tom?
What's puzzles affecting my life? I guess that's a tough one, just because like puzzles have been part of my life since I can remember, right? Like since yeah. I mean, I guess I think it's been like a little bit kind of ups and downs. So like, I mean, you know, there are bits where, you know, like early on, like started a blog, and then that was kind of quite positive, and then seeing like some sort of names comment on that, and then they've sort of done really well, like after that. So that was good. I don't know, like sometimes I feel like I've got involved in the puzzling world too much, and like it's been a bit of almost like a downside at times. So I remember when I was organizing the Sudoku GP in 2016, it was like it just got like a little bit too much, and like I just felt like all my sort of time at weekends, and I think I like remember talking to Vasso at the time, and it's kind of like, Tom, you're not going to come and moan to me about the GP again or something. And yeah, like I mean, I sort of realized that it was just a bit too much, and you know, like I had to sort of say, well, I can do this, but maybe I'm not doing it well enough, and maybe I should give someone else a try, and they can do better. And like I think Nicola has done the GP ever since, and like, he's done like a really good job after that. So like I don't like, sometimes I kind of think, well, you know, what if I stayed on and I had my own ideas, but then, you know, sometimes it's the right thing to let it go. Yeah, there have been some like negative experiences that I've had, but I mean, I think the one thing that like brings me back is, you know, you can sort of put all that aside, and there are like some really good friends that you know, that I know that I can talk to all around the world. You know, like if you go traveling, friends in every kind of country that you can go and visit, like even just like to chat to and just have a moan at, and yeah, like, you know, like people on this panel that I've known for years and years and years and years, and like they're not really just like, it's not like puzzle or life, or like they're my friends. They people who are really, really important to me.
What about you, Dave?
For me, I guess it would be traveling to the different countries. It kind of allows me to experience different things, even when I do stuff like eat McDonald's or whatever in these places, I still am immersed in different cultures, I guess. And I do have the opportunity to try different things I wouldn't normally do without Sudoku, I guess. There's also the social aspect of being around like-minded people, and whether it's like solving together or solving against one another, or yeah, it is different, and it's a bit of an escape, I guess, just from the day-to-day of the real world, and just, yeah, it kind of helps balance you out. I don't know, I think other people put it much better.
Thank you. What about you, Ulla?
Yeah, it's the people, it's the community. There's a group of people all over the world that get me. That's what I get from it. I don't have this pressure now back at home to try to find a person to talk to about these things, and when things go wrong, and when it goes good, and the family knows just if I did good or not in something. I don't need to burden my with my thoughts their existence because they don't really care. But yeah, well, my youngest daughter, she's doing some puzzles and sudokus when she wants, but other than that, it's really, it's kind of reassuring that there are people that get me. I'm not alone.
Yeah, we're all together. Vasso, what about you?
Yeah, people said most of the things that that affected me as well. I do remember some very, very tough parts of my life that I was diving into puzzles to escape from some negative feelings from the loss of a person that I couldn't cope with at the time. But puzzles was something that required my total focus and attention. So I had to think this, and I was able to forget everything else for the time being. But this is just let's say the hard part. The easy and the fun, the nicest part of all is traveling and meeting people and having friends all over the world. And even though we have so different how we grew up, the culture that we live in, the occupation that we have, our age, everything is different about us, yet we have this common hobby, I would say, that makes us understand each other and respect each other. And it's very nice.
It's very nice indeed. So we are coming to an end. Does anyone want to give some closing words? Vasso, do you want to continue?
Maybe I could sing. I was thinking the Sudoku song, but Byron nailed it. So yeah. Well, it was great to see you, everybody, and thank you so much for inviting me here. I really enjoyed the talk. I hope to see you soon. I mean, we need to do this, the next wave of karaoke experience. And yeah, let's solve some puzzles in the weekend.
Thank you. Dave, what about you?
I hope that Toronto hosts at some point in time. I know it may not be next year. It could be 2024. But when it does happen, I feel like I'll finally be on like an even footing with not having to take a plane to go to one of these things and not being exhausted when I arrive, and I'll actually have the upper hand and home field advantage almost, and maybe crush it one last time. And yeah, I guess that's about it.
Yeah. What about you, Tom?
Well, like I guess the first thing is like I hope I have some time to solve some of these competitions before everything runs out. I'm kind of a little bit worried that I'm just not going to be able to feature on any kind of leaderboard at all. But maybe I'll sort of have a marathon tonight. I guess more seriously, you know, like I guess we can't all be together like at all last year, and like it's really nice to at least have like this kind of event this year. So I guess to everyone who's been involved in making that happen, like I've heard like a couple of the stories behind the scenes, so like well done everyone. Like it's no easy thing. I think everyone here on the panel and kind of in the audience and who's taken part in the competitions is very grateful for your hard work and efforts. I think the only other thing to say is you know, we'll look forward to seeing everyone again, hopefully in person next year, and we can kind of get back to the real thing.
Yeah, that's all we hope. What about you, Ega? Some closing words?
I think hoping that we will meet at on-site event next year. We should consider to make it 2-week summer camp. Because 1 week won't be enough, clearly. And I hoped that everyone who is watching the panel now and who will watch it later enjoys it as much as we did during this session and during the rehearsal session. So it was a huge pleasure to be here.
There was a rehearsal?
I'm surprised we've kept it this clean so far compared to the rehearsal.
Yeah, Ulla, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wish that everybody stays safe, and I get the chance to see you once more at least in flesh and blood. And then we'll have a beer. And, yeah, love you all. Also, you attendees there listening.
And Tantan, thank you for hosting this. You were fantastic.
Oh,
Thank you, Tantan.
thank you.
I don't know how you've managed. Like we're awful.
Yeah.
Out of control.
I was expecting us to be worse, but yeah, maybe it's Tantan.
That's true. We've done well, Ulla. Really, we should.
Well, I have to admit I haven't taken any beers. That might help.
Oh, well, thank you everyone for being here. We really appreciate it. And I hope all the attendees enjoyed all of our panels. It's really sad that this is our last panel. Is it a good? I would say so, yes. there are like for tomorrow's quiz, like there will be things about past WSPCs. I mean, there are things we definitely haven't covered, but you know, we covered a bunch of good stuff. And yes, we'll have a trivia quiz tomorrow at 1 p.m. GMT. Yeah, I think so. But check it out on my website as well. And one last thing I want to say is that this year we have a number of authors who helped us organizing the event, and we provided 23 rounds, I believe, of Sudoku and puzzles and 33 time trials, which is a lot. And we decided to have this event for free because we want to attract people, and it worked pretty well. And so we're here to hope if people are interested in contributing a little bit, you can find more details on the LMI landing page as well. And we'll use this money to create some gifts for like participants. I mean, like there will be a lottery and there will be some prizes for like trivia winner or like competition winners. And we'll also use this money to for like the expenditure we had on this like whole event, as well as some like thanks for the authors. Yeah, so if anyone's interested, check it out on my website. And that's all I have today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Tantan.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Enjoy the rest of the evening. Bye-bye.